guys that, you know, are misplaced. They're in the right place in terms of their level of competition.
Is Metellus still an option at that Viper spot also?
Yeah, I'm gonna let him look at it, and we're gonna rotate through it, but yeah, you know, that's, every day competition's a beautiful thing, and we have several battles going on, so it's an exciting too. And, you know, young guys are hungry. They just seem to be hungry, and I don't think that's ever a bad thing. In fact, I think it's, you know, a great thing for our defensive football team, because everybody's trying to make plays, which isn't a bad thing.
How do you balance filling that position with needing depth at the safety spot? Because you do lose quite a few players from there also.
Yeah, you know, it's a good question. That's why, like, when Kalik's there at the Viper, we leave Josh at the strong safety position, and Jalen's with him. You know, I've even toyed with the idea of giving Jalen some work there, but I mean, his world right now is, you know, things are happening so fast. Let's get him comfortable, settled at the rover position. But I can rotate those guys and feel pretty comfortable with it.
Do you have to tweak what you do with that Viper spot without Jabril, or is it the same concept overall?
Well, they'll be tweaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's only one, you know, you know how many calls I've gotten this winter? I'm the next Jabril Peppers. No, you're not. No, I'm just kidding. But, you know, I mean, I've gotten a lot of those emails, you know, and, I mean, he's a unique talent, and I thought we did as good a job as possible trying to use him as much as we could. And like I told you before, we just gave him a bunch of jobs and moved him around and tried to complicate people's world, and I thought that was fairly effective. So, but, you know, the concept of the Viper position really isn't going to change much. You know, we're going to play, I don't know, 10 spread teams. Michigan State will come at us. Wisconsin will come at us. We'll see on the rest, you know. I mean, Ohio State comes at you, obviously, but in a different way. So it'll be interesting.
Don, Hill and Long, are they the leaders at the corners at this point? I mean, is that kind of who we go into it with that in mind at least?
Well, you know, I'm really not. I'm just kind of letting them play. I mean, obviously, they get first dibs, and if they can hold on to it, great. But, you know, there's such young guys, just let them compete, and it'll take care of itself. I'm really not, you know, I joked around last fall and said, I'm not afraid. You know, we'll get it, we'll be settled, and we'll have our packages down, and we'll have a, you know, a very, very solid group that'll be able to compete at a high level, despite the age. I'm not worried about that at all. Like, you know, I'd rather be talented and young than not, than the alternative. Have a bunch of veterans, and you're going, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So, I'll take the alternative and be happy with it. But it's a fun, it's really a fun group to coach. You know, they're kind of like the feed me patrol. So, that's kind of a fun thing, is they just want more and more and more. They're coming in extra, you know, which they don't have to do. And, you know, they want to be good, you know. That's half the battle, is when guys want to be great players. Usually that's a good sign that they're going to be.
What's it going to be like for you to watch all those guys that were at Pro Day today from that defense go on to the next level? I mean,
I'm so excited. You know, I really am. Those four guys up front, Ben Gideon, he's really atoned himself well. Wish we had him back for another year, you know. But I'm happy for him. You know, obviously Jabril, Delano, DeMonte. DeMonte ran really good today, so that was good. Streb, you know, did a great job, and Jordan Lewis is, you know, in my opinion, the best nickel corner in the country. But that's me, and I am prejudiced about it. So, you know, he's the best. So, and I think that'll show itself out over the next few years. But he's a great player, and so good bunch, really good bunch.
One
John, do you feel like, we all know that Jabril's athletic athletic, you talked about him at length. Do you feel like his intelligence, though, might be kind of an underrated aspect?
Yes. I mean, he's one of the brightest football players on the field I've ever been around. You know, it was one of those, you know, I'd see the hand go up, and I'd know, hey, you better have your stuff together, because this question's gonna have some substance to it. And, you know, so he was, you know, he'd have his couple questions, and when you told him once, it was over. I mean, it was done and it was handled, so. And we really, you know, like I said, we asked a lot of him mentally, and, you know, I thought Coach said it the best. I heard him on the tube today. He's the best tackler in the country, and what an underrated skill in college football, being the best tackler in the open field in the country. That's a hard thing to do now. So, you know, that, coverage skills. I had somebody asked me, well, he mustn't be able to catch very well, he only had one interception. Well, we play a lot of man, so you're gonna get a lot of the pass breakup stuff. And go back 50 yards and try to catch those punts, and then tell me you have no hands. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
What do you make of the